Welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana. It has been the discussion on IMF from last week, Friday, till now, where we're expecting that the finance minister and his officials will start negotiation on the IMF that is Ghana going to IMF for financial bail out. We're expecting that maybe on the 13th of July this month, the finance minister will also be presenting budget to the Parliament House. We'll be getting details of that one as and when. But for now, it is some fallouts that's coming up. Teacher unions gave us some notices that they were threatening a strike. Today, the 4th of July, a statement has been released confirming the fact that the teachers have gone on strike. We'll give you details of that and all other fallouts coming out from the IMF. What must we do in putting our house in shape as far as Ghana going to IMF is concerned? Do we have to do something, to discipline ourselves before the agreement is reached? What exactly must we do? We'll be speaking with officials as we go on. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Annie from Pofu. You're welcome. You're welcome back. Now, you're still on Good Afternoon Ghana, and I told you earlier on about fallout from our decision to now go to the IMF. Teachers also gone on strike, and Joe Carboni, we're expecting to speak with him later on. But for now, we've been joined via Zoom by the senior lecturer, Faculty of Business, Accra Technical University, Daniel Osabote, to speak to him on what Ghana is now faced with. Mr. Sabote, thank you for your time. You're welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana. Hello, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Right. So
Yeah.
So let's go straight into it. I'm sure you have gone through the phases of it, the discussion of it, the debate. But from your own angle, do you think that it is too late or better late than never? We say.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all viewers of Metro TV. Yeah, I have.
Hello, Mr. Sabote. Okay, we're trying to speak with Daniel Osabote, who is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Business, Accra Technical University, and it's about us going to the IMF. We're getting all the economic analysis into it. Let's see what must or should Ghana prioritize as we go forward into this discussion. But in waiting, do we have Osabote there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I can hear you now. All right, so you can go ahead. You can go ahead, sir.
Yes. So I was saying that I thought that we could have come up with a homegrown policy to avert this kind of problem that we are facing today. Now, why the need for IMF now? We've seen that almost all our macroeconomic indicators are pointing to one direction. And the direction is negative, that things are not going on well. We find inflation going up. We find depreciation of our currency also increasing, resulting in the price of goods and services also increasing. We have petroleum products increasing. And so the hardship on people is just becoming unbearable. Now, why IMF? When in 2021, the World Bank gave us 1 billion for the special drawings rights as a result of this COVID-19. This assistance was extended to countries belonging to the World Bank. And then we asked ourselves, what did we see coming out of this 1 billion support that was given to this country? I don't think that going to the IMF is going to solve all our problems, because since 1966 that we visited the IMF for bailout, we approached the IMF for bailout, there is going to be a 17th time. So on average, it is clear that almost every 3 years, 3 months, we run to the IMF. And that tells us clearly that the support that we are getting from the IMF is not the one that will forever solve our problem.
Yes.
And that we need to put in place permanent solution. Now, 2015, when we went to the IMF for bailout, 3 issues came up. We realized that we're having problem with debt sustainability. We had issues with monetary policy. And then there was a strong problem that also confronted our financial sector. So there was going to be monitoring, and then we strengthening our banking sector. So it called for a cleanup, which in 2018, the government was able to go through such a cleanup exercise. So one would have expected that having gotten out of the IMF program, things would have been better.
So let's do this analysis, Doc. The government says that the blame game has been on, on COVID-19, Russia and Ukraine. Before COVID-19, government started working on what we call the banking sector cleanup. And that was because government saw that there was something going wrong within the banking sector. After the cleanup, there was the indication that our books were looking good because we were able to clean the banking sector, which saved us some millions of cedis. The COVID-19, when it hit, we had some support also from outside to aid us. There were some things we had to stop doing because we were going through some financial challenges for that matter. However, how dire was the situation that COVID-19, even if we want to blame it on Russia and Ukraine, maybe you want to pardon that, but COVID-19, how hard were we hit that much that it has crippled us this badly?
Yeah, my sister, COVID-19 was a global pandemic, right? So we were not the only country in Africa affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. It is like having a home that is experiencing very weak foundation. The home is not too strong. I mean, your building is not too strong. And then you are hit with a tidal wave. Now, those buildings that are very solid in terms of the foundation will definitely, such buildings will withstand the tidal waves. So it tells us that if our economy is experiencing such crisis because of COVID-19, then we had problem even prior to the COVID-19. And these things were coming up almost every day, that the figures that were being churned out here and there did not really reflect the reality on the ground. And that is why we are where we are today. Yes, COVID-19 came in, but we were able to make some gains, even in the midst of COVID-19. So the reality is that some of our indicators weren't too good, and that should have prompted us that we needed to do more. Now, come to think of it, within a short time, look at the rate at which we have price of goods and services going up. Look at the rate at which our cedi is depreciating. And as we speak, it has crossed 8 cedis to the dollar. So we are doing less than 12 even cents, okay, to the dollar. I mean, so the cedi is giving us only 12 cents. So things are not moving in the right direction. And I don't think that going to the IMF is going to be an antidote. I mean, solving all our problems. Because I've already indicated that this is the 17th time that we are going to the IMF. What has come out of it? You see, so it tells you that something is not moving on right. You go to the IMF, they tell you your books must be cleaned up. You see, you have to control your expenditure. Okay, so as managers of the economy, I think that we should know that one way of strengthening the basics is to reduce expenditure, right? You're also looking at ensuring that monies are put in areas that will yield better results. I have been saying going in for a loan, it's not a bad idea, but what you use the loan for is what matters. Now, one of the reasons why we are faced with this crisis is because of debt unsustainability. We are not able to properly service our debt. And that is why investor confidence has reduced. Okay, now we are in a country where we don't even have confidence in our own currency, in our own cedi, to the extent that prices are quoted in dollars and then the equivalent is paid in cedi. So psychologically, what are we telling the outside world? You go to the port, you want to clear your goods. Instead of you being given charges in the Ghana's, I mean, using a local currency, so that we'll be adjusting it with inflations and all that, they quote it in dollars and they pay in cedis. So you are telling people that we have our local currency, but we don't have confidence in the currency. So you find people now going in for the dollar. So the dollar has now become, I mean, people are investing in the dollar. People buy, they keep some dollars, hoping that the dollar will appreciate against the cedi. So, my sister,
The
where we
quoting
are,
or the quotation of our of cost of maybe goods and services in Ghana using the dollars. Why? What's the difficulty? Why has it become so difficult to do away with that?
it is a very good question, because we have in our laws, okay, you go to hotels and some hotels are even quoting fees in dollars. So are we really ready to enforce some of these forex laws that we have, or we are just looking on for people to do their own thing? So it is about we ensuring that whatever we have in our books, those things are implemented. The enforceability of the law is key. Okay, you can go to IMF, they'll give you $1 billion. It will shore up the dollar supply in the system. The cedi will be stabilized. Okay, you'll be able to embark on Obatampa, Ghana Cares, and all that. But the point is, for how long will such bailout hold the economy firm? We have to now think of permanent solution to this problem of we always running to the World Bank for assistance. I mean, we've been having this for years. Okay, so I don't think that, fine, where it has gotten to, we find ourselves in crisis situation. So the only alternative as we speak in the short term is to seek assistance from the IMF. But I hope that this will be a turnaround for the managers of the economy, that once we go in for this program and then it becomes a success, we are successful, going forward, we should put certain political connotations and whatever aside and take decisions that were near to the benefit of this country, economic decisions. Okay, because if we keep on doing this, then we are telling
Hello, Mr. Sabute.
yes.
I didn't get the
Hello.
last. Yeah, I didn't get your last words. You went off for a bit.
Yes, so I was saying that when we keep on going to the World Bank almost every 3 years or 4 years, it is not a good sign of we managing our economy very well. Because the World Bank shouldn't be seen as a normal program that we run to support the economy. It is about time we stood on our grounds to ensure that the right thing is done. My sister, there are certain things that we can produce in this country and we need not import such things. So why can't we now concentrate on things that we can produce, things that we have that comparative advantage, so that the dollar could be saved to, transact business on things that we cannot import. Now, what is happening to our agricultural sector? We are even importing cassava. Okay, very pathetic. And we are told that such cassava is meant for the industry. Then you ask yourself, can't Ghanaian farmers be supported to produce cassava to supply our industries? So we are over depending on foreign products, and that is what we are faced with now. We have to move away from such things. And I'll recommend to the committee that have been formed and tasked to see to the causes of the sharp, increase in goods and the price of goods and services, in the way our city is depreciating, to go back to the National Development Commission plan. The plan is there, the 40-year development plan. It has captured how we can solve this inflation problem, how we can solve the depreciation of that currency. They are all there. So I recommend that the committee will lay hands on this particular document and then begin to implement some of these recommendations. It will help us, my sister.
So, we'll have to look at going forward. I'm looking at our inflation on the sub-region and countries that are really not doing too good. But even in they are not doing good. We have Nigeria. Its minimum wage stands at $3.0. Inflation is at 17.4%. When you jump to that of Ghana, our minimum wage is $1.69. Inflation is at 27. As at the time we gather the data, inflation is at 27.6%. I want to compare Ghana and Nigeria. What are they doing differently that we're not doing?
I said that is why when people begin to
because their minimum wage is $3.0 dollars. But Nigeria obviously is a bigger state and a larger population compared to Ghana. Ours is $1.69.
Yeah.
And this is what we're recording for inflation, 27.6%.
Yeah, so my sister, it shows clearly that even though our minimum wage is so low, the rate at which price of goods and services have been going up is far, 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 far more than the minimum wage that we are even enjoying as we speak as a nation. So the right question, you asked the question, what is it that Nigeria is doing that we Ghanaians, we are failing to do? And the point is that we are only trying to shift the goalposts. We only try to blame things that shouldn't be blamed. When this thing started and we're all pointing figures at COVID-19, then ask yourself, was Nigeria exonerated from the same pandemic? No, we were all faced by the same pandemic. So how come in our case, it has hit us so hard that the inflation is more than Nigeria, that of Nigeria? So it shows clearly that the way we have managed things is not how it's supposed to be managed. You see, these things started coming up. People started challenging certain figures that were churned out, but we're told that was the real figures. Now we are faced with the reality on the ground.
Now,
This
now,
27.
let me add more figures to it. So, Ivory Coast, as we speak, inflation is standing at 4%. Ivory Coast, 4%. The minimum wage is $3.99. Kenya's inflation is 7.1%. Let me move to Liberia because, of course, they are the ones we always consider as we're covering. Liberia inflation is at 8.19%. Minimum wage is $6.00.
Yeah. So, my sister, I think that the figures are I don't even know how to take it, but it shows
I'm just drawing the comparison that the
yes.
COVID hit all of us. Ukraine, Russia is hitting all of us. So something obviously must be fundamentally wrong.
Wrong. That is it. And the fundamental problem is that we got our macroeconomic figures wrong. Right?
Right.
We got our macro. I mean, you talk of monetary policies. Just recently, we had e-levy, which has been introduced, and we're told that e-levy is supposed to be the savior of this country, and that once we imbibe the idea, we agree to the implementation of e-levy, all our economic woes will come to an end. But how is e-levy performing? E-levy is underperforming because people have found ways of going around it. Once the people are not ready to receive it, they will find means and ways to go around the thing. And that is why e-levy is doing only 10% of the anticipated amount. So it appears the real figures were never churned out. And that is what we are seeing. That is what we are seeing. So the solution, yes, we can. How do we solve it? Let's go back and look at our expenditure pattern. This year's budget, how much was allocated to the presidency? How much did we allocate to the presidency? Which is not subjected to any audit. How much did we allocate to the presidency? Compare the amount that is allocated to the presidency to the amount that was allocated to, let's say, agri or education or health or whatever. You see, so we are missing something as a country. Areas that are supposed to be the bedrock of the economy, it appears we are not ready to invest in such areas. Talk of agri. My sister, how on earth should a country like Ghana be importing cassava, be importing tomato, be importing onion, when we have what it takes in producing some of these things? So there is always pressure on the dollar. The demand for the dollar is more than the supply. And basic economics will tell you that when your demand is more than the supply, you put pressure on that item, and it will force that item to appreciate automatically. So we see the dollar appreciating almost every day.
So IMF is coming in. That's a short term, definitely. But what fundamentally should we prioritize in the economy going forward? I mean, to lay the proper foundation for.
How do we sustain our debt? Debt sustainability is key, because once credit agencies give you negative connotation, they describe your credit rating as C and below, that the message to investors is that you are a high risk country. And no investor would like to invest in a high-risk country. You can have investors who are so daring, who will make the attempt of investing in such countries, but they will expect higher compensation in terms of interest rate. So if your interest rate is so high, and then you are getting such loans on investment, then your debt servicing rate is also going to be high. So it is not, I'm not surprised, because as we speak, about 50% of our total revenue is going into servicing debts, because we have poor credit rating. So there is already pressure on the little that we have. You are using the little that you have in servicing your debt. So how much do you have left to do other things? So the key area going in for this IMF bailout is for us to properly address our debt sustainability issues. Very key. And then we're also looking at our monetary policies. We are looking at the monetary policies. What are we doing in order to churn out real figures? Figures that will reflect whatever is happening within the economy. You see, but today we have Bank of Ghana increasing the interest rate in an attempt to reduce inflation. But there is going to be that vicious cycle, because you increase interest rates, businesses apply for loans from the banks, they pay higher interest rate, they produce, they sell at a higher price. So you try to solve one problem, you end up creating more problems. So our monetary policies are not also helping us. And I've been saying that the conventional way of we trying to address some of the issues are not also helping us.
Right. Let me leave it here, Mr. Sabote. The IMF conversation is ongoing, so we definitely will come to your quarters again. Daniel Sabote is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Business, Accra Technical University.